Hello, welcome to News Roundup, where we bring you highlights and key stories. I'm Sharifat Ibrahim. First, the headlines. President Tinubu to sack 3 recs from INEC. Kogi government approves over 1.2 billion naira for examination fees in public schools. Premier League to sanction over-the-top celebrations that cross over into mockery or criticism. Now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seeks the approval of the Senate to sack the 3 suspended resident electoral commissioners (REC) from the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). In a letter read by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, during a plenary session on Wednesday, President Tinubu explained that the resident electoral commissioners have been suspended by INEC for misconduct since March 2022 before he assumed office. The resident electoral commissioners are Nura Ali of Sokoto, Ike Uzochukwu of Abia, and Hudu Yunusa Ari of Adamawa. The president expressed confidence that the Senate will give his request the highest consideration. In another development, President Tinubu has also written to the Senate requesting an increase in the 2025 budget from 49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira. According to the Senate President, the proposed increase stems from additional revenues, which include 1.4 trillion naira from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, 1.2 trillion naira from the Nigeria Customs Service, and 1.8 trillion naira generated by other government-owned agencies. Senate President Akpabio directed the request to the Senate Committee on Finance and Appropriations for swift consideration, adding that the budget deliberation would be concluded and passed before the end of February. And Kogi State government has announced the payment of over 1.2 billion naira as examination fees for the WAEC, JAMB, Basic 6 and Common Entrance examinations and Basic Education Certificate examinations for 74,334 students across public schools in Kogi State. This was disclosed by the State Commissioner for Education, Wemi Jones, at a press briefing in Lokoja on Tuesday. Our correspondent has the details. Commissioner for Education, Wemi Jones, who emphasized the government's commitment to promoting education and reducing the financial burden on parents, noted that it is in line with the vision of the administration of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo to enhance access to education for all children in Kogi State. He noted that the decision aligns with the state government's broader educational reforms aimed at addressing cases of out-of-school children and encouraging school enrollment in the state. He emphasized that no student or pupil in public schools will incur any cost for these examinations, as the state has ensured that all associated expenses, including administrative charges and passport photographs, are fully covered.
His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo has approved further, also in line with the law, has approved the payment for Kogi State Basic 6 and Common Entrance examination for the year 2025 in public primary schools in the state, payment for the Basic Education Certificate examination, BASIC, the payment of JAMB fees for year 2025, totaling 542,416,784 naira. If we add these fresh approvals to the WAEC that has been approved previously in the sum of 661 million, the total that the government will be committing to the payment of examination for students and pupils in secondary schools for the year 2024/25 session will amount to 1,203,726,984 naira.
The commissioner further gave a stern warning to all school principals in the state who may want to deprive students from benefiting from the free education policy in the state to desist, adding that only students who have been captured by the Ministry of Education can benefit from the initiative. Kogi State government has announced its advanced discussions with the African Development Bank to secure a multi-billion-dollar project aimed at enhancing food production and security in the state. During an interview with newsmen in Lokoja, the State Commissioner for Agriculture, Timothy Ojoma, noted that the government is strategically ensuring smooth negotiations to secure the project and boost agricultural productivity across the 21 local government areas of the state. The Commissioner expressed regret over the negative impact of drought in 2024, which he admitted affected the state's expected agricultural productivity. Ojuma expressed optimism that talks with the AFDB, World Bank and Chinese firms would drive large-scale food production in the state this year. He, however, commended Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo for his prompt response to the ministry's request in supporting farmers in their efforts and commitments to agriculture. And the Kogi State government has inaugurated the Human Capital Development Technical Working Group to drive policies and programs aimed at improving the socio-economic well-being of its people. The inauguration took place on Tuesday during the maiden meeting of the Kogi State Human Capital Development Council at the office of the Deputy Governor in Lokoja, the state capital. Speaking at the event, the Deputy Governor, Joel Salifu, who represented Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, emphasized that the council is to focus on 3 key areas of health and nutrition, education and labor participation.
The role of this group is to provide landscape analysis for human capital development outcome areas. That is your area of responsibility as a technical working group. You will be the one to determine critical human capital development challenges for ministries. You will make recommendations regarding human capital development priorities. The recommendation should target across human capital development outcome and areas.
He emphasized that the government is determined to make Kogi a leader in human capital development and urged the team to remain dedicated to their responsibilities, noting that the administration's goal is to surpass basic benchmarks in the sectors and ensure that policies translate into tangible benefits for citizens. In a move to empower small businesses, the Kogi State government has launched the distribution of 10,000 free Corporate Affairs Commission CAC registration certificates to unregistered micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs in the state. Shamsuddin Sariki has the rest of the story.
Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo made this known at the 2025 Kogi State MSME and Financial Inclusion Conference, designed to formalize businesses, enhance access to financial opportunities, and strengthen the state's entrepreneurial landscape. Represented by his deputy, Comrade Joel Salifu, Governor Ododo emphasized that the initiative is part of a broader strategy to drive economic inclusion in Kogi State. He further called on financial institutions, development agencies, and private sector players to collaborate with the state government to ensure the sustainability and impact of initiatives that will allow small enterprises to flourish in the state.
I am filled with hope and conviction that the road to prosperity lies within the hands of our entrepreneurs. Those bold men and women who dare to dream and work tirelessly to transform those dreams into reality. Our vision is clear: to create an entrepreneurial ecosystem that is inclusive, innovative, and globally competitive. To achieve this, we must recognize that MSMEs are not just small businesses, they are the lifeblood of our economy.
Meanwhile, the managing director of the Kogi Enterprise Development Agency, KEDA, Muhammad Okeji, underscored the importance of engaging industry leaders, policymakers, and banks in supporting small businesses.
Government alone cannot drive this change. We need private sectors, partnership, financial institutions, and community support. By working together, we can create a sustainable opportunity for all.
He stated that the agency's role is to create opportunities for SMMEs, ensuring they receive the financial backing and technical support needed for long-term growth in the state.
The news roundup is coming to you on Lugard TV. Do stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. The Kogi State Head of Civil Service, Elijah Evenemi, has reaffirmed the state government's commitment to revive the civil service to align with international best practices. Speaking during a one-day leadership development session held at the conference hall of the State Secretariat in Lokoja, he described the civil service as the engine room of governance and emphasized the need for continuous reforms. He commended Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo for his support in strengthening the civil service and ensuring that it remains a driving force for the implementation of government policies, noting that the presence of permanent secretaries and directors at the session emphasized the administration's commitment to capacity building and efficiency in governance. The guest speaker, Dr. Adams Adeza, an associate professor from Sunway University, Malaysia, introduced the Kogi State Pledge, a framework designed to enhance governance and service delivery in the state. Dr. Adeza also advocated for the adoption of the No Wrong Door initiative, which ensures that citizens receive government services efficiently, regardless of the office they approach. Similarly, the special advisor on media to the Kogi State Governor Ismaila Isa has said the state government is committed to building capacity of the government's media team for effective public policy communication. Deborah Edoja has the report.
The special advisor on media stated this at a specialized training for members of the Government House Media team on innovation in public policy communication held at the Government House Media Center in Lokoja. He noted that the training is part of efforts to enhance public policy communication, foster transparency and accountability in governance. This, he said, is in commemoration of the first anniversary of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo in office as the Governor of Kogi State. Honorable Issa said the session, which brought together members of the Government House Media team and the media team from the Office of the First Lady, would help to improve strategic communication skills among members of the team. He expressed appreciation to Governor Ododo for prioritizing capacity building by the media team and other officials of the present administration to enhance their capacity to deliver on key performance indicators set by the administration.
World best practices that we need to imbibe in our work in terms of communicating government policy, ensuring that we get tangible and expeditious feedback from our people on the performance of the government in terms of policies and programs of the government as a way of encouraging the government to do more what the government is doing right, and also making adjustments when necessary. So in this guise, it's important for us to get some kind of international exposure on how best to communicate the policies and programs of the government. And our team members have been greatly rewarded for their time they spent with the professor.
Adeza, an associate professor at Sunway University in Malaysia, emphasized the critical role of media professionals in shaping public perception and ensuring that government policies and programs are effectively communicated. He commended the media team for their synergy, attributing it to the Ododo-led administration's commitment to fostering collaboration and professionalism.
The amount of teamwork I've seen and the commitment I've seen, I can only see that it will be higher and higher, because there's no way a team of this caliber of people is working and they don't get the kind of result they are looking for. So I want to commend you for the wonderful job, for making sure that the good people of the state actually understand the different government policies and initiatives, not only understand, but also engage with the government to co-create policies and programs that we benefit the citizens of the state.
The Speaker of Kogi State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Aliu Umar Yusuf, has restated his commitment to mentoring the next generation to ensure a secured and more assured future in the state and Nigeria's leadership ecosystem. This is contained in a press statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary Yabagi Mohammed in Lokoja on Wednesday. This statement noted that the Speaker, who played host to the Students' Union Government Federal University Lokoja, noted that young people and students require necessary training to ensure sustainable leadership system that would better the future of the country. The Speaker advised the Students' Union about confrontation, stressing the need for collaboration with school management to ensure a conducive learning atmosphere for the rest of the students. Earlier in his address, the Students' Union Government Senate President, Federal University Lokoja, Michael Owonibi, said the essence of their visit was to give them the opportunity of having practical knowledge of the legislative process and procedures in the state. And on sports, the Premier League has warned players that any celebrations crossing over into mockery and criticism could lead to sanctions. The decision has been taken after several players have been criticized for their post-goal antics in recent weeks. The Premier League says it will monitor the celebrations of players after scoring goals and could even impose sanctions if they consider them to be insensitive or provocative towards the opposition players and fans. The Premier League's chief football officer, Tony Scholes, described some of the celebrations as funny, entertaining, noting that once it crosses over into mockery or criticism, then it will have to be dealt with. Meanwhile, the Premier League has been put on hold as some teams will be involved in their respective Football Association Cup fourth-round fixtures this weekend, with league actions to resume on Wednesday, February 12th. And that is it on this week's episode of News Roundup. Until next week, I'm Sharifat Ibrahim. Thank you for staying with us.